And Tom Brady has made almost 20% of them. What am I even reading? Brady will play in his 10th Super Bowl after leading the Bucs to an NFC title. Enough of an accomplishment to get Max tweeting this. Does this man have the world's best karma? I don't even understand his life. Tom Brady has had a full Hall of Fame career in the time since I made the Cliff prediction. All right, Max. Big storyline this offseason. Is it Brady? Is it Belichick? Who? Da, 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 blah, blah, blah. All right, it's Brady. What did he prove by reaching the Super Bowl without Belichick? First year with this team in Tampa.
He proved everything. He proved everything. And I'm surprised, very surprised by it. I wasn't running around saying it's more Belichick for effect. I believed that. But sometimes, even if the evidence you see is unbelievable to you, you have to accept that it exists. And Tom Brady proved everything. I don't care how stacked the Bucs are, and the Bucs are stacked, or how bare the cupboard is in New England, and the cupboard was bare. Tom Brady orchestrated that well. You could argue as LeBron James has from team to team, or as Floyd Mayweather did picking opponents. In other words, not only are they the best on the field to play, they can analyze the sport better than others. They know what they need. They know what they need to be successful, and they make it happen. Brady proved everything. First year with the team, no training camp, no practice, facilities around the NFL getting shut down. You can't practice with your brand new teammates. And he goes on the road to beat Drew Brees in his own division, who'd already beaten Brady twice. On the road, Drew Brees, tie game in the fourth quarter. Who's going to be better when it matters most? Tom Brady. And then to Lambeau to do the same exact thing to Aaron Rodgers on the road by playing better in the highest leverage moments. He proved everything. Tom Brady is the football GOAT. He's also the best, whoever did it, not just the greatest. And the argument as to who in what sport has been the greatest, Babe Ruth or Michael Jordan, an argument I really didn't think Tom Brady belonged in, he absolutely does.
Tom Brady proved that he deserved far more respect, adulation, and deference from Bill Belichick than he received, and gratitude, because he disguised Bill Belichick's deficiency as a GM, not a coach. I'll never question the greatness of Bill Belichick as a coach. It's too many responsibilities that come with being a coach, and he didn't get there to 9 Super Bowls and win 6 by himself. But when you consider that you last year, meaning Tom Brady, had to work with Jacoby Myers, not the law firm Jacoby Myers, but Jacoby Myers, all right, who, by the way, has potential, okay? And you got N'Keal Harry instead of A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf. And you drafted Sony Michel instead of Lamar Jackson. These are some glaringly flagrant errors made by Bill Belichick, the general manager. And so for me, Tom Brady never departs from New England. If he had the personnel in place, the love that he has for Robert Kraft and the New England and the Foxborough area and what have you, he never leaves New England if you make sure he has the weapons that he needs. But by not having the weapons that he needed, you had people talking like Tom Brady, bringing up the cliff and the ravine and talking about how he couldn't get it done and how he was done and he was over the hill and all of this other stuff. And as he heard all of that noise, and he's like, these people don't know what the hell I'm working with. I have nothing. If Bill Belichick had given him weapons, Tom Brady would still be in Foxborough, and Tampa wouldn't be going to the Super Bowl for the first time since 2003.
Best thing that happened then is that he didn't.
Man, listen, what Tom Brady proved is exactly what I called him last week on Get Up. He's the greatest organization of all time. He's savvy. He's smart. He knows how to maneuver, right? For 2 decades, he felt that what was happening in New England could get him to a Super Bowl. As soon as it couldn't, he was gone. As soon as he realized we don't have the requisite players, as soon as he realized that things aren't in place for what I need, it's time for me to go. So think about what he does when he makes that maneuver, when he makes that move, when he finds a new place, when he packs up the Mayflower trucks and moves from Cleveland to Baltimore. He gets there and he says, you know what? I'm going to go get Rob Gronkowski. I'm going to get him to come play with me. Later on, I'm going to get AB. I'm also going to get playoff Lenny to come down. Shady McCoy, who hasn't done as much. And so now he's being the GM. Now he's putting the team together. Bruce Arians said out of his own mouth, Bill didn't let him coach Sometimes I just sit back and let him do his thing. So he knows when to move the organization, right? He knows how to put the pieces of the organization together, and he knows how to coach the pieces. And so now when it's 4th down and Tom Brady says, hey, man, hey, BA, put us back out there. I think we could get this 4th down. And then he says also, too, I like this Scotty Miller matchup on the outside with Kevin King. BA says, you know what? Go ahead. And now I can acknowledge Tom Brady was not the most important TB that was on the field in Tampa Bay colors, because that was Todd Bowles. That defense finished and won that game. That defense finished and won the game against the New Orleans Saints. But it's about the journey, y'all, not the destination. Tom Brady was the most important part of this journey. And if we were just talking about him, if you heard how many NFC championships, you heard how many Super Bowl appearances, you heard how many Super Bowls, that organization and its fans would think that they are the greatest thing that has ever been put together. And that's who Tom Brady is. He's the greatest, and it's not any question. And now he's in the conversation for the greatest athlete of all time, not just the greatest football player. And that's hard to be in the biggest team sports in America.
Ryan, I think you buffered my point with the breakdown you just provided, because wouldn't that be somebody that Bill Belichick should have listened to a bit more?
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
maybe, just maybe, it's not about the personnel you didn't get Tom Brady. It's about the people he wanted that you refused to go get or to keep on board. Remember, Antonio Brown is in Tampa. He ain't in New England. Now, that's partially his fault. We all know that. We all know, how he conducted himself. And we all know he wasn't smart to go after Robert Kraft. But that was after he was let go. Now, he might not have listened to them when they told him to shut up. And he might have had a screw loose and all of that stuff. But that can't be the only time in the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick era when Tom Brady made some suggestions and Bill Belichick and them may not have listened.
Well, right now, you guys are being a little too definitive at the moment about Belichick Brady. This is what I will say. Brady's already proven everything he has to prove. And right now, it's Brady 1, Belichick 0. But next year is another year. Belichick's going to have another chance. Right. That has not, in terms of Belichick's ability as a coach and GM minus Brady, there are more bites at this apple coming up. And time will tell. Well, but Brady has proven everything he needs to
The only
prove.
reason I would put you on pause for a second is that if you recall, Max, I came on the air and reported at the time that Brady left New England. If Bill Belichick had wanted Tom Brady to stay and had told him so, Tom Brady would have remained in New England. They would have worked it out. I reported that. I didn't give an opinion. I reported that because of what I had heard from the Patriots organization. And everyone I've spoken to has confirmed that reality. Tom Brady left because Bill Belichick would not come to him and say, I want you to stay.
That speaks to Brady's greatness. Really, the reason Belichick had sound reasoning. In football, the most important person in the organization is the head coach. In baseball, it's the GM. In basketball, it's the star player, right? Brady is so great that even Bill Belichick, who really knows what he's looking at, didn't understand. I didn't either. A lot of people didn't. What Brady was bringing to the table. He may have thought he understood it, but it appears at this moment he did not. Brady is winning right now.
Still feeling great about Jimmy Garoppolo, because I'm hearing that San Francisco ain't too high on keeping him, Max. I noticed how that escaped your soliloquy there. Are you bringing up Jimmy G? What about you, Molly? What about Jimmy G? I mean, I don't hear from either one of these people, Ryan.
Jimmy G.
Brady Molly gave him the nickname. No. I'm not talking about that comparison.
Jimmy G has been in a Super Bowl pretty recently.
Jimmy G. I was told we love the San Francisco 49ers. Talk about moving on from him. Wow.
At least you call him Jimmy G now.
Well, let's see Brady win the Super Bowl now, because Garoppolo had a fourth quarter lead in the Super Bowl.
My bad, Ryan. Porn star Jimmy. My bad.
Okay, Disney. Let's keep going.
That's right.
All right, Patrick Mahomes is on the cusp of the greatest 3-year span by a quarterback in NFL history. It's only in his first 3 full seasons he leads the NFL in total QBR, QB wins, touchdown passes, yards per attempt, passing yards. My goodness, since the start of 2018. Not to mention, at 25 years old, he could have 2 Super Bowl rings, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, and an MVP award before the season is over. RC, you're going first. Can Mahomes ever be rivaled, or is he just that good?
Well, I mean, I think it depends on how you're looking at it. When you talk about rivaled as to who's the best quarterback in football now, no. There's nobody in that discussion. And we could talk about the year Aaron Rodgers had. But when you think about this 3-year run, this 3-year span of Patrick Mahomes, it's the best we've ever seen. Also think about the playoffs, though, in the critical moments. There hasn't been one moment, even in the game that they lost to New England, where Patrick Mahomes came up short. Where the conversation we're having about Aaron Rodgers right now, conversations we've had about even Tom Brady in the past, we can never say that. We can never say that Patrick Mahomes needed to hit a switch. Patrick Mahomes needed to make a play. Patrick Mahomes needed to execute, and he didn't. And that's all we've seen. And throughout this year, we had the conversation about teams being close to the Kansas City Chiefs and them playing very tight games. And even in those games, what we failed to mention was Patrick Mahomes made every single play he needed to for the Kansas City Chiefs to win. And a guy like Josh Allen, who moved himself into the MVP conversation, who people were talking about rivaling Patrick Mahomes from a skill level or from a talent level or arm level, had his chance. He had his shot, and it wasn't even close. The thing that's great about this Super Bowl is the greatest of all time, who is Tom Brady, is going to face, at least as current football players go right now, the only dude that can even be in the conversation for having an opportunity to catch him, and that's Patrick Mahomes.
Go ahead, Max.
Mahomes has no rival. And in fact, in terms of the beginning of a career in the history of American team sports, it's hard to find one. Now, it's a perfect storm. Stephen A., you can talk about Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. I'm sure you will, and that has something to do with it. And his own talent and his decision-making, which is nearly perfect. Like, it doesn't really get better than that. And yet he's the Brett Favre draw the play up in the dirt gunslinger guy who also, minus the turnovers. Brett Favre is on this show saying it's amazing. He's the gunslinger, but he doesn't turn the ball over. He's Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers had a baby, and he's started 3 years. This is his third. He went to the AFC Championship game 3 years in a row, already won an MVP and a Super Bowl. Should have been Super Bowl 3 years in a row, if not for a pre-snap penalty. Guys, this is like, I start to look into like Michael Jordan. Jordan came into the league like this, but his team wasn't good enough, so he wasn't going to the championship every year. Yeah. Who else did it? Like Dan Marino went early and then not after that. He is the most talented on the most explosive offense, and he doesn't mess up under pressure, and he puts up the biggest numbers, and he has the biggest talent. There's no equal.
So you're just going to end the show and Bailey give me 20 seconds. Fine. So I'll ask this question, Ryan. I'll give it to you. You won a Super Bowl championship with the Steelers, did you not? How did you do with the Washington Redskins? See the difference?
No.
Who you play with matters.
The quarterback.
That dramatic pause was actually a delay, Stephen A. RC, good to see you. Let's all do this again tomorrow.
Strategy work.
Today was fun. Bye, guys.